Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, animals and insects, chefs and pastries, Kirbys and penguins, puffballs and bears, Boscows, Yoshis, toads and princesses, Italian plumbers, and greedy whatever the heck Wario is. Also welcoming mints, trains, snow people, watches, other intangible objects I haven't mentioned yet, Totoro, poppin' music, all these great things, fairies, not good fairies, and annoying fairies, as well as clouds, one-eyed creatures, pirates, and not to, of course, exclude any types of animatronic being that may be watching this at this current juncture. Also, I'd like to welcome everyone else who hasn't been mentioned yet, such as magazine writers, journalists, storytellers, book readers, librarians, convention runners, and of course, people who have to sit through long lists of names during graduations, because, obviously, that's what we're here to do today. If I haven't scared you off yet, welcome everyone! This time, everyone, I mean it. And we are here in Kirby Triple Deluxe, the third bonus episode. What episode may that entail? Why, of course, it's Dedede Tour. So, hello. Dedede Tour is basically this game's extra mode. For those not familiar, Extra Mode appeared initially in the original Kirby's Dream Land. It was a special code you inputted into the game. They would tell you after you beat the game, and it made the game a bit harder. Enemies did more damage, were more aggressive, and the bosses had some new attack patterns. It was brought back, I want to say, and originally it was brought back in Kirby Superstar Ultra, which was Revenge of the King. There might have been some other ones along the way, but I forget. There was an extra mode also in Kirby's Return to Dreamland, but you played as Kirby, and this, we're going to be playing as Dedede. So, first things first, before we begin, I have no idea how this is going to be edited. It may be me talking for the entirety. It may be sped up, because I don't know if you want to watch me play through the entire game in one sitting, because that's what I'm going to do. That all said, there is one other thing people have asked me about, and I do need to address. This is not blind. A lot of people have asked me, hey, can you do Dedede Tour blind? Hey, can you do Dedede Tour blind? And the sad thing is, or the unfortunate, is that I've already beaten the game. I've beaten the game 100% on another file, so I have seen all of what the game has to offer. It was just the story mode that didn't play blind. That's why these bonus episodes don't have blind labeled on them, because these are things I have more of a understanding what's going on. And thank goodness for I'm going to go into this not blind, because this would be a lot longer than it's going to be already. With that overly long intro out of the way, let's begin Dedede Tour. Dedede goes on start that sentence over. Dedede goes on a tour in Dedede Tour. It's a royal time attack with fewer recovery items than the main story mode. Save time by using warp holes. Jump into warp holes for a shortcut to stages farther ahead. Battle deluxe bosses along the way and face a final boss who wants revenge. Yeah, I wonder who that is. So, Dedede Tour starts us off right here in the first stage of Find Fields. Before we do anything though, Dedede gets his own little bio as well. At long last, Dedede Tour, this land will not be ruled by Queen Sectonia. No! It will be ruled by the king, the self-proclaimed king of Dreamland, who's also great, embarks on his own adventure. And of course, you got his moves. Hammer, Hammer Wave, which is kind of cool. Giant Dedede Swing, Quick Fall, Giant Swing, Ultra Swing, Hammer Twirl, Dedede Hammer Flip, Hammer Cannon, and Hammer Cannon, Hammer Throw, Underwater. So, Dedede, I should mention right away, he has quite a few moves that make him different than Hammer ability. For one, he's got this little move right here. That's pretty nice. You can only do it when you're at full health. You can also hold to do a little charge attack. This actually works as a cutting type move, so they pretty much thought of everything to give Dedede for the sake of being able to solve all the puzzles and whatnot. Let's see, is there anything else I can do? Let's see, you can throw your hammer, but you won't lose it this time. You can also do this. It's still the most broken move in the game, kind of. So without further ado, let's get on to this Dedede Tour. Thanks for the nice link there. So, you're going to play through every single stage in the game, sans a few, but we'll get onto those when they appear. So, Dedede, he's nice, he's kind of fast. Get used to watching me spam this hammer troll in the air. That, to me, that's become that's the fastest way to move, I think, in this game. And the entire point of this particular sub-game is speed, and I've wasted quite a bit by talking already. And as you probably noticed, some of the enemies, some of them are a bit bigger than usual, some are a bit smaller than usual as well. And I am not going to go out of my way to get anything that is unnecessary, because unlike the main story, there are no sunstones. There are keychains in sunstone areas, but that's usually out of the way. You don't want to go out of the way too much. Dedede is, I'm not sure if he's faster or slower than Kirby. I want to say he's probably about the same speed. Bushes like this, you can use multiple things. You can use this. As I said, it's a cutting move. And then, of course, you also have this, which counts as burning. Additionally, Dedede's down attack has burning element put onto it as well. So, he's pretty well-rounded and well-equipped for some of these bosses, since the bosses you'll be fighting in Dedede Tour are a lot harder. Now, I'm going to skipping that, because over here is one of those stabled warp holes. I'll be taking as many of these as possible, because this makes it go a lot faster. There is roughly about one warp hole per stage, so that was the one from Fine Fields 1, and then we'll try to go see the one in Fine Fields 2. There actually isn't one. I have a little cheat sheet of where the warps are. Hopefully I'll remember where they all are. And so, this is basically, if you've played through the main story, you know how most of these puzzles are going to go, and you know how many of these stages are going to work out. What is going to be majorly different, other than the enemies, and the fact that you're playing as Dedede, is coming up pretty shortly. Now, for speed reasons, I don't take that first warp star, because I just figure it's faster to run than get over there. That's the same reason I don't take that one, because there's no point to go over there. Dedede can't use abilities, so there's really no point to trying to go and kill those enemies, even though it might be beneficial. I do really like the design that they gave Dedede for this game. It's a little different than his traditional one, but it's still really nice. Of course, gotta use our gyro controls here. Go over here. Dedede has his own unique one-up. And although it's probably been edited in already, you'll notice that his assist star looks a bit different than the Kirby one as well. It has this little emblem on it. And of course, there's also the time that's going on there. That should be edited in. It better be edited in, me. We're almost at 4 minutes here. So, in here, here's one of the secret rooms that would have had one of the sunstones, just for proof of concept. In here is now a keychain. If there's a keychain, there's literally no point to go after it unless you really want that keychain. There aren't any golden keychains in Dedede Tour, so it's basically for completion's sake if you want to go after them. They add nothing to your score or speed. They don't detract from your time if you pick one up. So it's pretty much only if you really want to go for it. Oh, hello there! So one thing actually I will discuss quickly is that I have done some Street Pass with people who actually have this game now. And so, if you have someone that you Street Pass that has the game, they'll have a little rainbow around their icon. Additionally, they'll also give you a keychain, and sometimes a bit more few goodies depending on where you're playing at. I am going to use this Peppy Brew though, because up here is our first mini-boss of Dedede. Mini-bosses, as you can see, have gotten a palette change, of sorts. Their attack patterns are also a bit more chaotic. So he's gonna dash across there twice. The most abusable move is that hammer, that power hammer. especially if you're standing to them with the, if you're standing, if your back is against them. There we go. The reason being because it does that chip damage with the fire and whatnot, so then everything works out. Here is basically a save room. They show up about once between the stage and one at the end of the stage. Okay, and by stage I mean level. So it really bothers me that they call them levels and then the actual stage is stages. So this is Fine Fields, the world Fine Fields, I'll go and say. We're on stage 3 now. Those particular save rooms, they come in between the middle of worlds and the end of worlds, so after a boss. Okay, and of course we got this really kick-ass music. Oh, I probably shouldn't have used that word. Oh well. It's okay. I think Dedede is a pretty kick-butt guy. That hammer flip move is very kind of costly to time, so not really worth it in many instances. It's only really worth it against mini-bosses and regular bosses. I forget, do I need to do this? I don't think so. So we're just going to ignore that, because it's not that important, and it takes away from time. My key is to do this as fast as possible, as fast as kind of possible, because I'm not a speedrunner, so don't expect me to have any record-breaking times here. But I want to do this as fast as possible because, you know, it's Dedede Tour. Watch me run out of things to say pretty quickly because it's Dedede Tour and it's stages we've done already. So for this, we gotta use our handy-dandy either hammer flip or the down thing, the down hammer, to get the fire going so you can do this puzzle. And get it right. You gotta get it right. You don't want to screw it up. There's a warp hole up here, so we'll take it. And this will take us to the 4th stage. In fact, it takes us kind of into the middle of it. Which is nice. It skips quite a bit, quite a good chunk of it. And by skipping that chunk, we don't have to fight a mini-boss. It's a nice skip. There's a reason why I'm going after all the warp holes. And of course, be careful right there, because some of these are in the background, some of these are not, so like those two. I guess it's fast to go on the right, I don't know. Before you do anything, here. Invincibility Candy is your friend in Dedede Tour, because it makes you really fast, and of course you can just plow through everything, don't have to worry about anything. Go through the door. So, first skip that we can potentially miss is coming up here. And the reason being is that it's a key door, and as you know, you can accidentally destroy keys. Which isn't good. And of course, I skipped that tilt section because I could just run over the spikes because of invincibility. And... okay, now we gotta play a waiting game here. It's worth it because we're gonna skip... with this warp, we're gonna skip the warp star animation, and that takes a while. This is gonna take us straight directly to the boss. So, here is our boss room. Now, technically, it is a bit faster to skip Waddle Dee because you have to wait for the stuff to go down, but I'm always going to take the maximum tomato just to be safe. And Waddle Dee will always give you a maximum tomato in Dedede Tour when you're going to face a boss. So, here comes our first boss. As it should look somewhat familiar, but a bit different. This, of course, is Flowery Woods DX. This once small flower has grown to a deluxe size and gone berserk. Its relation to Wispy Woods, which makes its homeland Dreamland, is unknown. So, as I said, the hammer flip is a very abusable move. It's really, it's pretty good. I'm going to take a lot of damage here, obviously, but I'm going for speed, not for accuracy. So, I got him past half his health. That's good for right now. Because he's going to go into the background, do all this stuff I don't really care about. I was like, I don't mind this aspect with the background thing, but it does become a bit obnoxious, I feel. Because some of these bosses take forever because of it. And of course you can attack the roots. And you can always use the regular hammer swing if things aren't working out for you. Okay. Yep. So you just gotta... Dodging! You can block, obviously, and you can dodge. Ah, butts. And Dedede has his own flatten animation, which is kind of cute. Anywho's, we're done with that one. We did Fine Fields in 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Or, okay, I guess in 9 minutes. Kind of-ish. I mean, we paused the game a few times here and there. So, with that done, we're on to the next stage, which, after we see the keychains we got, another reason not pick up keychains, it slows down time, but we got a mint leaf back there and Masher. Additionally, we also got Hothead. So, 3 new keychains to our collection. These save points will also heal you, and you're kind of forced to hit them, so always good. Off to Lollipop Land we go. So if we just go over here, that's the fastest way to fall down there. I'll be always talking about like some kind of speed tactic. Again, I'm not a speedrunner, so I have no idea why I'm even saying these kind of things, but let's give you a reasoning for why I'm doing stuff, because in the main story mode, I was more about, hey, let's check out all this stuff. And in this one, I am not about, let's check out all this stuff. I am about, hey, let's get here, point A to point B, as fast as possible. And thank you, Waddle Dee, but we don't need that stuff. So, next mini-boss up here, this is going to be Grand Wheelie DX. Remember, he can do the flatten animation, and that does consume a lot of time, so it is best to destroy as fast as possible. A nice little touch that they have in Dedede Tour is that the mini-bosses, when you destroy them, they just explode instantly. As opposed to, in the main story mode, you have to actually go and physically destroy them with a few extra hits. So, this invincible candy makes you fast, also as you go back here. This is where our next warp is located. You kind of need it, or else you're not going to make it through there, because this is the area you would have used wheel for. So, here we are in stage 2 of Lollipop Land, and that invincibility candy finally wore off. Invincibility candy, always helpful, and just be careful not to destroy your platforms. Flying is also a bit slow, so I use that hammer twirl technique because it doesn't slow down my momentum, and allows me to destroy things that get in my way. Okay. So, one thing you can do with the cutter is you can actually use it to destroy those ropes. And that's going to come in helpful for our next warp, which is actually down here. We need to go over here and cut that rope. And so, next warp here in Lollipop Land. We gotta do a little tilt here. And cuts. Good enough. And so, we're already halfway through Lollipop Land. This is kind of why I wanted to use the warps in the first place, because it makes it go a lot faster. And hopefully it will have about a total runtime of less than 2 hours, as opposed to my first runtime going through this, which was like 5 hours. Of course, spread out. There are save points, obviously, so you can quit when you feel like it. But I feel like I want to do this all in one go, so it's all done. I love Dedede, so let's give him a ton of love in one episode. So this is the stage 3 of Lollipop Land with the crazy hands. Not the Super Smash Bros. Character, obviously. And you gotta use some fancy footwork here. I mean, some of these jumps I have screwed up in the past, but if you're good at it, you'll be fine. Dedede can use this head cannon, just like Kirby could in the main story mode. We actually need to get it all the way to the end here, because our next warp is coming up. I'm glad they're very generous with the warps in these first few stages, these first 2 worlds actually. Later places they force you to do a lot more of the stage. So if it seems like I'm zooming through things really fast, don't get used to it. So I'll not take the head cannon with me, and we will go to the end of stage 3, where that forces us to do some of it still. But it bypasses a good chunk of it. I believe there's a mini-boss you have to fight coming up here. Jump! And of course, over here, there's a key, but I believe this key does not go to anything in particular. Goes here to this door. I want to say there's nothing in here, but we're going to check anyway. So yeah, that's where a sunstone probably would have been. But there was a keychain there instead now. So the upper door is technically faster, because it will take you directly to where you need to go. And our next mini-boss to fight here is Gigant Knight. Gigant Edge DX, whatever. Okay. Almost dead. Oh, come on. There we go. Take that. I checked. I wish there was a warp up here, but there isn't. There's an excellent tomato, though. I will take that. And off we go to my favorite stage of Lollipop Land, the Funhouse. I don't know why, I just really like this stage. I guess it's the music. I really like the music here. There's some fun things to look for in the Funhouse stages. There's one in this world, Lollipop Land, and of course there's one in the Wild World as well. But, those I don't believe have any... You don't need to worry about those in Dedede Tour. So, let me just check... Once we get to the door here, I gotta check my list. Because there is a warp in this stage as well. Ah. Unfortunately, it is one of the more obnoxious warps to get. And you'll find out why when we get there. For now, enjoy the scenery of Funhouse Mirrors. This music's so bouncy, like it has this kind of dark feel to it. But it's just kind of, it's still this bouncy, fun song. Like, this is what I think of, like, if you're in a bouncy, fun house that's, I guess, somewhat haunted, maybe. I don't really like those barrier things, because there's really no point to them in Dedede Tour. They just slow you down. Speaking of just slow you down, that's Speedy. That's what I call him. He's a very speedy Waddle Dee, who, if you don't get him in time... Shiznerinis. Nope, jumping over you. Okay, well, that is our first miss warp. Those Waddle Dees are very fast, so you gotta be careful on those. Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong one. Ha ha ha, I knew that. But yeah, it's a lot of time wasted if you... Because that would have taken us directly to the boss or the end of the funhouse at least, so it's a nice skip because you have to do all these parts, but... Oh yeah, there's still this room too, oh goodness. I forgot just how long the funhouse stage is. Anyways... Dedede, I'm hoping that we're gonna get Dedede Drum Dash Z at some point, you know? You know that good buddy? My good king buddy? You don't care, you're busy. I can see that, Dedede. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And in sports, spikes! Don't touch them. So that's the end of the funhouse stage. On to the boss. Just going to ignore those guys. And as always with the boss, I will take Waddle Dee's assists. Take that, and I'll take a keychain, I guess, because you're going to make me pick it up anywho's. Don't take that, because that goes to nothing. That would have been where the abilities were when you were playing as Kirby. And now on to Paintra DX. I like that there's these new animations, and I do like the redesigns of the bosses for Extra Mode. They actually look pretty decent. Okay, decent is not a very strong word. They look cool. Born from a forgotten painting made by a mysterious brush, Paintra DX has come to take her revenge. One must wonder if the painter who created her regrets giving her form. I didn't do it. So, Paintra DX is actually probably one of the easiest bosses in Dedede Tour, just because this move is pretty spammable. And if you can get her to cooperate, she should go down pretty fast. But right now, not so much. I'll do that dash attack because I get invincibility frames with it, and I also can do some damage. Got her. Good. Great. Oh, no, you're going over there? No? Okay. Nah. Okay. Thank you for painting a single line. I don't know which one. This one is the real one. The fake one, rather. Those are both the real ones. Her attacks are pretty much the same as the regular Paintra. She just has a bit more of a... She's a bit more crazy with putting paint in places it doesn't belong. Which is almost everywhere, to be fair. Unless it's on a canvas. My top screen is not a canvas. And yeah, that... Just the fire alone from me bringing the hammer up did quite a bit of damage. So, did that in about 8 minutes. That's not too bad. On to the next part. Let's see, keychains we got. We got King Dedede from Kirby's Adventure. Okay, that's a pretty nice one to have.